to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream for Monday, July 13th. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We've got the S&P futures down 26, NASDAQ down 330, Russell's down 9, and the Dow is down 32. NASDAQ the weakest by far, down over 1%. Gold's down 1%, silver's down 2.25%, notes and bonds are a little bit red, 10-year yield up about 0.75%. Oil's up 3.2%, just under $74 a barrel. Natty gas down 3%, soybeans a little bit green, wheat a little bit red, corn's up 1%, euro and the pound are flat. Bitcoin is down 2.2%. And the VIX getting the Monday bump and some, up a little over 9%, currently at 16.39. Biggest individual stocks pre-market. Chips are weak. S&DK is down 6.6. MU's down over 5. Intel down 3. Cryptos are weak. MSTR is down 3. Coin down 2, AMD down 3, Qualcomm down 2, AVGO down 2, NVIDIA down 1. On the green side, we've got Shopify's up 2%. DraftKings up 1, PayPal up 1. We don't have any scheduled news today, but tomorrow we've got CPI pre-market. And then Wednesday, PPI pre-market. We also have Warsh testifying in front of Congress Tuesday and Wednesday, starting 30 minutes after the market opens. And we've got some bank earnings. We'll talk about in Power Hour today, but they announce tomorrow before the bell. I'm going to put on a 1 DTE iron Condor as well as a 3-4 double calendar this morning. Looks like the expected range in SPX is plus or minus right around 33 bucks. Kind of see what the S&P and NASDAQ do around this pre-market range is the opening bell. Above that, possible move up to previous day high. Below it, possible move down to previous day low. First order of business is I'm going to enter a 3-4. Make sure I don't have any strike conflicts. Just a minute while I get this in. Looks like the indices are bouncing a little bit to start. Filled on my double calendar and my 1 DTE. All right. Both of those have been posted in the Transformer Trade channel. S&P breaking out of its pre-market high a little bit. Apple is pushing higher to new all-time highs in Apple this morning. Tesla is weak. It's down 2%, pushing below previous day low. SpaceX is weak. SpaceX printing new all-time lows. Still a little above the IPO price. Chip stocks staying a little bit weak. Cryptos are bouncing. Coinbase just went green. Hood just went green. Bitcoin still down 2%. MSTR still down 2.5%. NASDAQ now pushing below its pre-market low, while the S&P is at pre-market high. Russell's pushing higher. It's almost up to its pre-market high. Yeah, chips are dragging down the Qs for sure. Apple still pushing. Amazon strong. Tezzy keeps going down. Nvidia just pulled back to pre-market highs. Amazon ticking new highs. Apple pushing. So Apple and Amazon definitely showing the relative strength so far. Chips showing the relative weakness. S&DK is down almost over 9%. Yeah, MU looking a little heavy on the daily, isn't it? I was just playing pickleball with a buddy of mine this morning, and he's underwater pretty big in MU, selling puts. Got a little out over his skis on that one. Got a little too confident in the old memory section. Chips bleeding lower. SMH is down over 3%. All the big chips coming down. S&P, NASDAQ. Now NASDAQ breaking below pre-market low. NASDAQ below previous day low. NASDAQ's down 1.5%. S&DK's got a big volume bar as well. Yeah, Meta just popped up as well. Same with Microsoft. Google's starting to bounce too, so another day with the chips moving oppo of big tech. I'm going to load some Q puts up, some 0DTE QQQs. If I take it, I will use the $709s. Broke under pre-market low, broke under Thursday lows. IWM trying to hold inside the pre-market range. Pretty decent bounce in the Russell. Google going green. Chips trying to bounce a little bit. Whoa. NASDAQ retested that level and right back down. Did not get in. See if I can get an entry in this Qs. Starting to come back up. I like some of these mags long too, though. See what the NASDAQ does here. See if it was a flush of that level and bounce, or if it's going to hold below. I'm still looking at the 709 puts. I like Meta long here at pre-market highs as well. Meta 0 DTE calls. I would trade the 675s. Level still holding in the Qs. Chips are starting to bounce. Meta's breaking down. Some of the other Amazon's breaking down a little bit. Google reversed. I'm going to take the Qs small position in that puts. Little starter position. Filled at 82. Potential to add here. Try to take some off at 105 if it comes down. Oh, wow. Yeah, some of the Mag 7s are really dipping now. Not Apple, though. Chips are still bouncing. Chips going oppo again. Chips bounce. Big tech down. Tesla still at lows. Yeah, they've had a tendency to do that quite a bit lately. It's just like a little rotation game going on between Mag 7 and chips. Crypto's little bounce got shut down. Apple doesn't care. Apple's up 2.5%, still printing new highs.
Order filled. Order cancelled.
All right, Q's starting to dip again. Need a little push through lows to hit my 105. There's a new low. There's my 105. Try to take some more off at 125. Amazon big reversal. Google and Meta back to lows. Microsoft back to lows. And the chips dipping as well. So we get these Mag 7 and the chips moving in the same direction. Look out. Nvidia coming down hard. Indices bouncing a little bit. MU's bouncing a little bit. SMH just is kind of chopping near lows. I'm going to add back into the Qs here. Filled at 88. Let's see if we can get it one more push lower. Next level down I have marked on my Qs is right above 712. S&P, Russell bouncing. NASDAQ's not really bouncing. S&P did a quick little head fake above pre-market high, but right back in range. Russell did a little head fake lower below pre-market lows, back in range. NASDAQ, definitely the weakest. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon trying to bounce. SpaceX putting in new lows. Tesla still near lows. Nvidia near lows. Put an order at $1.10 to close out part of my ad. We get another little quick dip. And I still have my other profit target at $1.25. We get a little flush. Need the chips to get weak again. MU's still bouncing. AVGO trying to bounce. SMH trying to hold its above its lows. AMD a little bounce. Apple rolling over a little bit. All right, NASDAQ kind of retesting that low level that I entered on. Need to see a rejection here. S&P back up to pre-market high. It's not what I was looking for. Chips bouncing. Need the chips to continue weakness for this to work out.
Order filled.
Q's right back to pre-market lows here. All right, I've got my order ready to cut. S&P back to highs. AMD, MU, AVGO, big bounces. SMH, big bounce. Gosh, I like this area to enter short. So I don't want to be too quick to cut here. In fact, I kind of want to add. I'm going to go ahead and add some here. Now, if we go start pushing up more, I'm going to just cut. Getting a little bit of a dip. So I got into that ad at 43. Put an order to get out at 65. Keep dipping a little bit. Russell back to lows. NASDAQ dipping a little bit. Need a little bit more. Elon not having a good day. SpaceX and Tesla through lows. All right, NASDAQ coming back down, getting close to hitting that exit. Yeah, hit 65 cents to exit on that ad. Ooh, SpaceX is getting heavy. SpaceX may get down to IPO price today with volume. Dark Avenger hates America, hates the dream. Must be a communist, I guess. Need Qs back to lows here. IWM pushing new lows. S&P back into pre-market range. Be back in 1 minute.
Order cancelled. Order filled.
You shouldn't hate on somebody just because they're successful. It's no way to go through life, kid. SpaceX continuing to drop. Tesla at lows. NVIDIA, pretty decent bounce. Russell almost down to previous day low. NVIDIA's catching a nice little bid here. AVGO, MU, AMD also still bouncing. SNDK. So chips starting to catch a little bounce here. Microsoft about to go red. Bank of America coming down. Big banks a little bit red coming into earnings Tuesday morning. All right, NASDAQ no flush through lows. All right, I need to see the cues reject here. I'm going to try one more add here in the cues. Filled at 46. All right, so need to reject here. Need another rejection. SMH up to previous day low. Yeah, chips all of a sudden catching a bid, so probably going to cut out of this. Give it a minute. PLTR catching a bid, staying green. Pretty choppy, really. S&P a couple of head fakes above its pre-market high, but keeps popping back into pre-market range. No news Monday. Pre-CPI. Oh, you know what? I forgot I put a 1DTE on. Why don't you guys call me out? Usually don't do that pre-CPI, but it's getting decay, so I'm gonna leave it on. It's up 14%. I've got my cues order ready to cut if we start pushing up here. AMD still bouncing hard. MU kind of pausing. AMD up to previous day low. Same with SMH. Meta coming back to lows. Russell's staying pretty weak. Meta punching through lows below previous day low.
Autofilled.
Google coming down. Amazon coming down. Oh, just filled queues. Ooh, baby. Here we go. Here we go. Filled $1.10. Filled $1.25. Holy moly. It's awesome when you're on the right side of those. So I've got 8 lots left now. After that nice little gift. So it happens when you try to go long as a British. Did that hose my frickin' Bix? A little bit of slippage. I way scaled my size down today. Cut it in half. Yeah, these Bics are just bleeding me out, man. Not enough to get me paid on the long puts either on the Bics. They're only at 40 cents.
Autofilled. Autofilled.
Well, the Q's hit my lower target here. Kind of that area right above 712. I'll continue to hold for a little bit to see if we get it another dip, but it doesn't. Looks like it was one of those little news flushes. Chips are still bouncing. Well, I'm glad I had those profit targets in on the Qs. That helped. Let's see if we're done with the downside here. All right. I'm going to cut my Qs if we don't drop here. Meta's still putting in lows. AMD kind of chopping around previous day low. Same with SMH. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flatten my Qs here. Filled on those at 50 cents, so made a little bit of money on that flush, but not much. I was plus 558 on that trade, looks like. All right, I'm going to wrap the stream. I will watch and see if I find anything else of interest here, but just some kind of whippy chop this morning so far. Chips are starting to get some legs though, so I'll keep watching. All right, all have a good day. We'll see you in Power Hour. Cheers.